very good morning to all of you. My name is Muhammad Tarmizi bin Shali and my metric number is JP954415.
Have a good day, Dr. Naga. I am Siti Nur Ashikin binti Zainuddin and my metric number is 9685-15.
Hi, my name is Rosma Linda binti Osman and my matrix card number is JP9664/15.
Hi Dr. Naga, I'm Nur Fatihah binti Muhammad Zaidi and my metric number is JP961515.
Hello and good day, Dr. A. Nagalakshmi. I'm Nur Shamimi binti Abdul Rahim. My matrix number JP9623/15.
Assalamualaikum and good day, Dr. Naga. I am Muhammad Yazid bin Osman and my metric card number is JP/9509/15.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we will talk about a very special topic, which is people struggling with their sexual orientations, and LGBT is one of them. Is it a choice or not? To talk about this topic, we have invited 5 panels, which is a motivator, Dr. Narashikin, a Shari'i lawyer, Mrs. Nur Fatihah, a lecturer, Ms. Rosmalinda, from NGO, Ms. Nur Shamimi, and last but not least, Mr. Yazid from Jakim. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed with this topic, let me tell you the definitions of LGBT. According to the American Psychological Association, LGBT is a shorthand for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. So, I would like to ask Dr. Narashikin, is it a choice to be a LGBT members?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for giving me this opportunity. In my opinion, being LGBT is not a choice. People don't choose to be gay. People are more in touch with their sexual orientation when they reach puberty. However, as people grow older, they become aware of their attraction and feelings to others regardless the gender. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, sexual orientation is established as early as their childhood. However, today, scientists are unable to conclude what makes a person gay. There's no significant difference in their genetic makeup. As a gay person, they share the same sex gene with a straight person. A male has XY chromosome, while a female has XX chromosome, regardless their sexual orientation. Scientists believe sexual orientation is determined since you are born. Therefore, we cannot identify the gay people just by their physical appearance, unless the minority group of transgender people. Apart from that, LGBT community consists of diverse demographic. They are made up of all ages, races, religions, and nationalities. They work in wide occupational fields, including the entertainment industry and the professional levels. For example, Neil Harris Patrick, who is an American actor and known as a comedian who plays as a straight role in How I Met Your Mother as Barney Stinson. Another example is from our very own country Malaysia, Nur Sajat, who is famous media personality and successful businesswoman. There are many rumors regarding of her sexuality, as people claim that she is transgender. But until now, there is still no proof of her sexuality. Therefore, based on what we understand about the LGBT community, that sexuality is not a choice. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, everything happened with reasons. So I would like to ask Ms. Nur Shamimi to share with us what is the factor that caused someone to be LGBT.
Thank you to Mr. Moderator for giving me this opportunity to talk. In my point of view, there is still no consensus about the exact reasons or cause factors that an individual develops LGBT. Although much research has examined the possible genetics, hormonal, developmental, social, and cultural influence, no findings to conclude that sexual orientation is determined by any particular factor or factors. Many think that nature and nurture both play complex role. Most people experience little or no sense of choice about their sexual orientation, where some react against nature and nurture models, arguing that sexual orientation is a myth and LGBT is simply a choice. Despite I agreed with motivator Prof. Siti Nor Asikin saying that LGBT is not a choice, I would like to say that all of us sense that we still have some responsibility for our destiny. We are not slowly genetic machines anymore, then we are blank slate on which experience right. Perhaps most importantly, we still have the right to control over our behavior. Personally, the idea that LGBT is genetic to engage in science that hinges on a very historically recent is a big turn-off to me, since we all know that sexual desire is deeply subject to social, cultural, and historical forces. I strongly believe that what we desire in childhood is far more complex and multifaceted than the biological science can account for, and this goes for our sexual desire as well. A child's conscience is largely shaped by parental environment and can be underdeveloped or blunted, especially if the public conscience itself is changing. And last but not least, when LGBT was regarded as degeneracy, there were powerful social pressure preventing its expression. And thus, environmental influence and psychosocial factors on sexuality rumored to be irrelevant are actually alive and quite well. That's all. Thank you for lending me your ears.
Thank you, Ms. Nashamimi. So, from the research that has been done, we can say that we still do not know what is the reason people become LGBT, and as what Ms. Nashamimi said earlier, we ourselves have our own responsibility for our destiny. This LGBT community is keep growing in Malaysia. Can you, Mrs. Nur Fatiha, share with us what is the Malaysia perspective and the law enforcement?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Assalamualaikum and good day to all. As we know, Malaysia stands under heavy influence of Islam. Thus, LGBT is technically illegal in Malaysia. LGBT here is often seen as immoral and frequently treated as deviant and criminal. Nonetheless, referring to the statistic by the religion enforcement officers throughout Malaysia is showing that the LGBT community continues to grow. As a Muslim majority country, Malaysia has a divided legal system. There are, on the one hand, federal civil and criminal court, but at the state level, Muslims use Sharia courts for religious and family issues. Homosexuality is condemned under both jurisdictions. Possible punishments include fines, prison sentences up to 20 years, and caning. Both Malaysian and Muslim foreign visiting this country are subject to Islamic law, which may punish gay or lesbian sexual activity with whipping and male transvestism with imprisonment. Cross-dressing is not technically a crime. However, people have been arrested by police under civil laws governing public indecency. Muslims may be further charged by religious officers under Sharia laws for impersonating. Nowadays, the LGBT community start to claim their rights openly. They use human rights to justify their behavior. The action of this group is not only discredit the sanctity of Islam, but also a detriment to the public order and religious security. Therefore, Malaysia will never be compromised with the request of this group. Malaysia has consistently reported about LGBT and human rights issues to the Universal Periodic Review UPR in Geneva, Switzerland, to demonstrate that Malaysia has always looked after the rights of every group in the country based on the provision of the law of the country as well as the current Sharia law. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nur Fatihah. So, from that we can conclude that LGBT is prohibited and illegal in Malaysia, and there is enactment and law on them. And I also agree with you that every party have to take part to prevent this crisis. Dr. Rosmalinda, as an anthroposocial lecturer, from your point of view, what is the consequence of LGBT community to the society, family, institution, and religion, and how the society react to them?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, and very good morning to all. In many parts of the world, discrimination against LGBT are commonplace. These people are more likely to experience discrimination based on their sexual orientation. Mistreatment can come in many forms, from seemingly benign jokes to verbal insults, unequal treatment, and in the most extreme cases, physical violence. But more and beyond than that, we have to know the consequences of LGBT. Religion objection is the most popular reason people cite when they say being gay is immoral, and because of that they do not legalizing same-sex marriage. Generally, it found that LGBT people are much less religious compared to the broader world population. In this case, people who don't make religion a part of their life are able to accept members of LGBT more easily because their thoughts are not sheltered by certain aspect in many religion. But survey from the Pew Research Center in the US found that 51% of them said they do have a religion. Of those who are religious, more are Protestant or Catholic. Same-sex marriage can cause problem for children growth, development and maturation with the people who are living with them. The need of these children is a mother and a father. The long-term effect is that the community will suffer from genetic crisis because there is no institution of marriage which can produce offspring for the survival of the human generation. To solve the problem of getting child, this member of LGBT will try to adopt a child or by surrogacy. Last but not least, people with unhealthy sexual orientation are tend to infected by sexual transmitted disease such as syphilis or gonorrhea, which are life-threatening disease. In addition, the increased number of public or private restroom or clubhouse are said to be the cause of increasing of HIV positive patient in the LGBT community. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rosmalinda, for your explanations. And we can say that this LGBT community will experience discrimination due to their sexual orientations. Ladies and gentlemen, we have talked about this topic from few perspectives, and now I would like to ask Mr. Yazid about what is LGBT perspective in religions.
Assalamualaikum and good day to everyone. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for the question. LGBT in the perspective of religion. It is a known fact that LGBT phenomenon is one of the most controversial issues in many countries, including here in Malaysia. Some might embrace the culture with open arms, but other parties, particularly those with strong religious background, might have perceived the culture differently. In Islam, for example, the issue and the practice of homosexuality has been recorded in Islamic holy books. All in general are against LGBT. In the Quran, the issue on homosexuality has been mentioned based on the story involving the Prophet Lut alayhi salam and his people known as the Sodom. in which homosexuality was widely practiced during this era. Since the people of Sodom rejected the Islamic teaching, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had cursed and punished them with earthquake and rain of fire, which had then destroyed the entire city and its people. This story clearly shows that the subject of homosexuality was addressed and condemned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Similar view is also found in Christianity, in which the religion perceived the act to be disgraceful. According to the Old Testament or Leviticus, sex between men is believed to be an abomination, and the person who committed the act should be put to death. This clearly means that Christianity too in general is not in favor of the LGBT culture. Other religions such as Hinduism and Buddhism, however, have a mixed opinion on the issue of LGBT. In Hinduism, some groups do oppose the idea of LGBT due to some historical fact, but there are others who accept it, perceive it as one of the natural human desire. Buddhism too in general has never had specific rule and consensus in prohibiting the practice. So I can conclude that social issues such as LGBT will always be interlinked with religion, and therefore problem involving it should be addressed accordingly based on the religious stance and legislative of the country experiencing it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the conclusions from what we have discussed earlier, we can conclude that LGBT is not a choice and it is prohibited in all perspectives, including psychological, law and enforcement, religions, and anthro-social perspectives. And I believe that every single of us have our own responsibility to determine our destiny and make sure it is on the right path. That's all for today, and thank you.